The Epstein files just dropped, and the names inside got people doing double takes everywhere. But out of everyone listed, the ones shocking the public the most are Jay-Z and Pusha T, and that's where the conversation gets real heavy. Back in 2019, when Epstein was first arrested, the FBI opened a nationwide tip line asking anyone with any information about Epstein or his alleged network to come forward. The reason was simple. Investigators believed the operation was massive, so massive that when Epstein was arrested, they felt they hadn't even scratched 1% of what was really going on. That tip line wasn't quiet either. Calls and reports were coming in non-stop, including allegations involving high-profile names, and unfortunately for Jay-Z and Pusha T, their names were mentioned through that very same process. To be clear, these were allegations submitted to the FBI tip line, not court verdicts, but public perception doesn't always wait for full context. In Jay-Z's case, the situation hit another level after a woman contacted the FBI on July 10, 2019, at exactly 8:20 a.m. Eastern, identifying herself to the National Threat Operations Center as someone who said she was harmed by Jeffrey Epstein and others. Once details like that surface, the internet moves fast, opinions lock in, and narratives take shape almost instantly, whether proven or not. Moments like this can flip how people look at powerful figures overnight, and that's exactly why this story refuses to die down. Now here's the information that was provided, and this part reads straight like a transcript of what was told to investigators. According to the report, the events described trace back to around 1994, but a lot of the details are blacked out due to redactions, which likely protect names and sensitive identities. Even with those sections removed, the woman identified herself to the FBI call center as a past victim of abuse connected to Jeffrey Epstein, and that alone raised serious alarms. She went on to explain that the alleged abuse happened during private gatherings and parties, which instantly caught attention because those events have been mentioned again and again in other accounts. Epstein had a reputation for throwing exclusive, over-the-top parties that weren't normal by any stretch, and people around him knew exactly what kind of environment they were walking into. These weren't casual social events. They were controlled spaces where powerful guests mixed freely while boundaries were allegedly ignored. Earlier releases from the Epstein files had already hinted that these parties were built around indulgence and excess, tailored to whatever the guest wanted at the time. The pattern that keeps popping up is that Epstein allegedly customized these environments to suit personal preferences, no questions asked, no limits in sight. That kind of setup paints a disturbing picture, and when stories like this resurface in official records, it forces people to look at those past rumors very differently. This is what she says went down at those gatherings, and the picture it paints is dark and uncomfortable. According to her account, she claims she was taken to these events and treated like a party accessory, surrounded by powerful people moving reckless and out of control. Large portions of this section are heavily redacted, which only adds to the suspicion because key names and connections are completely blocked out. The document lists blanks, identifying her as a friend of other unnamed individuals. And based on the context, these redacted figures are described as adults with serious influence and status, not minors. She then claims that around 1996, roughly 2 years after everything allegedly started, the situation escalated even further. She states that she was living with a person she later identified as one of the individuals involved in an unnamed state when things took a sharp turn. According to her statement, she was taken from that residence without consent, removed from her normal surroundings, and the next thing she remembers is waking up in a completely different setting. When she regained awareness, she claimed she was in the presence of Harvey Weinstein and Sean Carter, known publicly as Jay-Z, which instantly changed how people read this report. The way this account is written, with names mixed alongside redactions, makes it one of the most unsettling sections in the entire file, and it's exactly why readers say this part hits different when you slow down and really read it. She stated that she believed she was taken to Epstein's mansion in Florida, and that's where several of these incidents allegedly happened. According to her account, she estimated that she was taken on 7 separate occasions, which instantly made people stop and reread that part. Each time, she says she woke up inside luxurious indoor locations, places that clearly suggested wealth, power, and secrecy all mixed together. She claimed she was harmed on multiple occasions during these events, and that Epstein himself was involved in several of them, which is a serious allegation that changed how people viewed the entire timeline. What really stunned readers was her claim that other powerful figures were present during some of these alleged incidents. She recalled seeing Leon Black and William Barr Curry, who later became the United States Attorney General. At certain moments, she connected to the abuse. That detail alone sent shockwaves online because it pushed this story far beyond Epstein himself and into the world of high-level influence and protection. She also stated that the last time she remembered being harmed by Epstein was around 2006, which put a clear end date on her account. Looking at the timeline, she claimed these events started around 1994 and continued until roughly 2006. Based on basic math, that would mean part of this period occurred while she was underage and later continued into adulthood, which makes the situation even more complex and disturbing. If her account is accurate, what she went through at a young age is deeply troubling and not something to dismiss lightly, no matter how uncomfortable the details may be. But for this to allegedly stretch all the way to 2006, something about that picture feels seriously off, and that's impossible to ignore. From her own account, she didn't describe any specific physical actions by Jay-Z himself, but she did claim that Harvey Weinstein crossed a line directly, while Jay-Z was present during those moments. Even without direct involvement, being there while something like that is happening is still a major problem in the eyes of the public. No excuses. The way many people see it is simple. If someone is taken from their home, brought to a private location connected to Epstein, and harmful acts happen in front of you, presence alone carries weight. Standing by, watching, or not stopping, it puts everyone in the room under the same spotlight. There's no splitting hairs between who did what when the environment itself was allegedly built around control and abuse. That said, this is still classified as a tip that came through the FBI system, not a proven case. According to available records, no charges followed, no subpoenas were issued, and no depositions involving Jay-Z ever surfaced. The tip did not move forward legally, but because it was connected to Epstein, it remained documented within the larger Epstein files. Where things shift is with Pusha T. In her statement, she claimed specific actions involving him, which makes that part of the report stand out even more. She also stated that during multiple alleged incidents, she believed she was drugged, a detail that adds another disturbing layer to everything described in this section. She went on to say the alleged drugging left her disoriented and confused, making it hard for her to fully remember everything that happened each time. According to her statement, she believed this drugging was regularly carried out by specific people she described as handlers, individuals whose role was to manage, control, or move her around during these situations. One of the names she identified as a handler was Pusha T, and that's where people really started debating the dynamics of these rooms. From her perspective, Pusha T didn't fit the profile of the powerful figures usually mentioned in these environments. At that time, he wasn't described as a global superstar or someone with major influence, which led her to believe his role was different from the others present. The claim suggests that if someone like him was in those spaces, it wasn't as a main figure, but more as someone assisting or facilitating movement within the setting. That distinction is important because it shapes how readers interpret why certain people were allegedly present at all. To be clear, this account does not prove guilt, and it remains an allegation within a tip, nothing more. The reasoning presented is about perceived roles, not confirmed actions, and that context matters when reading claims like this. She later continued by stating that among those she identified as handlers, she included the artist Pusha T by name. She also claimed that around 2007, she attended another gathering after being approached by an unknown man while walking down the street. According to her account, both Harvey Weinstein and Pusha T were present at that event, and she alleged she was drugged before further abuse occurred, adding another serious layer to the overall narrative described in the report. At this point in her account, the narrative shifts again because she no longer described Pusha T as just a handler, but claimed he also directly took part in the abuse, which raised the stakes immediately. She went further, saying she had additional information about other individuals involved in what she described as a wider operation, including claims tied to organized activity supporting the trafficking. According to her, this wasn't random or chaotic. It was structured, planned, and protected by people working together behind the scenes. She also stated that she believed she was being monitored and followed, claiming she felt under surveillance at the direction of those connected to the abuse. That fear wasn't presented casually either. She framed it as ongoing and intentional, something that affected how she lived day to day. She confirmed that she had not been diagnosed with any mental illness, which she made a point to clarify during the call. When asked for a physical address, she declined, explaining that she didn't have a permanent place to stay and instead moved between different hotels. That detail changed how some people read the report. On one hand, it shows instability and vulnerability, but on the other, it highlights how exposed and unprotected she may have been at the time. Dismissing serious allegations simply because someone was in a bad situation doesn't sit right with everyone, and that's where opinions really split. People judge fast, but circumstances don't automatically erase someone's experiences. And this is where some listeners started connecting dots, saying figures like Kanye West have been warning for years that powerful systems protect themselves, whether people want to hear it or not. The idea she hinted at was simple but explosive, that some of these guys were connected to Epstein long before anyone wanted to admit it, and people just weren't paying attention at the time. A Kanye West lyric instantly came back into the conversation, especially from his song World War III version 2, where he says he knows people who went to that island and questions why anyone would ever go there in the first place. That line didn't sound random to a lot of listeners once these files resurfaced. Kanye has been around both Pusha T and Jay-Z for years, worked with them, fell out with them, and aired tension publicly. So when he says some dudes, people naturally start connecting dots and wondering who he could have been talking about back then. Now, let me be clear, this is speculation based on lyrics and context, not proof. And I'm just breaking down why people are revisiting this moment now. No shots fired, no accusations made, just connecting what's already out there. What really messes with people's heads is this part. Kanye has been called crazy, unstable, and written off for years, yet his name doesn't show up in these Epstein files at all. No tips, no allegations, nothing tied to him in this situation. That contrast alone has people rethinking how fast they label someone as insane while ignoring what others might be hiding. And this is why some say Jay-Z looks cooked in public opinion right now. Even though these claims remain unproven and came through a hotline tip, once a name enters this kind of conversation, perception shifts fast, and it doesn't wait for courtrooms to catch up. For Jay, the real problem is that the public already wants to believe these allegations, and once that mindset locks in, there's almost nothing he can do to shake it. The moment Jay-Z crossed into billionaire status, a lot of people in hip-hop started looking at him sideways, questioning motives, moves, and who he aligns with. That suspicion didn't come out of nowhere either. People still point to how Jay-Z handled the NFL situation as proof that he'll play the business game hard even if it costs him respect, and that history matters right now. Because of that, Roc Nation is sitting in the hottest seat possible, and in the court of public opinion, they're already seen as guilty until proven innocent. The truth is, when people want a story to be real, facts struggle to catch up. Jay-Z could speak non-stop, drop statements, do interviews, even shout from the rooftops, and it still wouldn't be enough for a lot of folks. the narrative has already taken on a life of its own. Pusha T, on the other hand, might have a little breathing room here. He's not widely disliked, and the public hasn't been waiting for his downfall the same way they have with Jay-Z. That difference alone could shape how each name is treated as this unfolds. As for Jay-Z, the wave is just getting started. Reaction channels are already lining up, ready to analyze every old photo with Harvey Weinstein, every past business connection, every shared appearance, and even body language frame by frame. Once the internet starts digging like that, it doesn't stop easily. Trust me, the way people are talking right now, Jay's public image looks beyond cooked, and that's just the reality of how the internet is moving. When you really scan the landscape and listen to public reaction, people aren't treating these Epstein files like simple allegations anymore. A lot of folks are saying, if these documents were kept hidden for this long, then whatever is inside must be true in their minds, and that belief is driving everything. So once a name gets tied to these files, public reputation takes a brutal hit instantly. People are treating these documents like absolute truth, not accusations, not tips, not claims, but final word. That's how extreme the reaction has become, whether that's fair or not. At that point, logic takes a backseat and perception runs the whole show. Now, I'm not here to decide guilt or innocence. I'm telling you how people are reacting in real time, and it's ruthless. Once that narrative locks in, there's almost no coming back from it, especially online. But I want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments and tell me what you think about this situation. Do you believe these claims, or do you think the internet is jumping the gun again? If you rock with the content, make sure you like this video, share it, and subscribe to Dripzine. Help a small creator grow by smashing that hype this video button. It really helps more than you think. Appreciate y'all for watching.